I am very grateful to see you here again because we are watching another episode of Ancient Mage's Bride, where Chise is attending some education, going to a greater place of learning, one that definitely isn't going to experiment or do any research on her itself. But hey, at least we're getting some new roommates, some friendly faces, and not so friendly faces of the past. But whether it be caterpillar women, talking cats, or whatever the hell this show is going to throw at us, I kind of want to see what else there is in the world of Mahoutsukai no Yome. So let's begin. Is there an underwater passage? Nice little aquarium view. A new teacher to the school at this kind of timing. What subject per se? I think this school is getting a lot of new faces recently. Hopefully they've got good track of actually who's employed. And when we get our first lesson, how many people are going to start interacting with Chise? And what form will it take? We had the kind of grand fantasy from before, secrets of immortality and the like. The curses of dragons. Is it going to slightly calm down, but still keep it in its kind of dangerous routine? I don't think there's going to be... It's going to allow us to have a brief moment of reprise at all. Probably a good idea. She's been putting in the legwork. I mean, it would be a somewhat surprising situation to wake up in. I mean, conscious, so yeah. If they're cognizant that they actually have reoccurring issues. The fact that she is so kind of attentive to for a first meeting. Somewhat knowledgeable. I mean, sure, why not hand out a little bit of information when it's needed? One that requires a fainting epidemic. Actually, yes. Didn't expect to just have parcels of tea in a pocket, but it's Chise we're talking about. Actually, I quite like the scent of lavender. Yeah, don't eat that one. or boil it to make a brew either. Don't collapse would be one thing. Yeah, this is not a free service. How about show around the school when you've got time? As someone that used to suffer quite, not severely, but at least more than rarely with blackouts when standing rapidly, yeah, it's not a great thing to have to deal with. Quickly hide that away. No, not at all. What would she have to talk about? Yeah, it took a bit of a detour on the way. Oh. But now it's hanging around, and all it wants was a bit of hair. Huh. Interesting. I mean, it's a better deal than some people might actually be able to obtain. As long as there's not too many scent of flames. I feel this will-o-wisp is going to be easy to get along with. I wonder if it's going to actually turn up all too often now that she's made a contract with it. What was that? Rugby? Yeah, rugby club. And cricket. I suppose even in the school of magic and sorceries, it's still British. Is this... I was going to say a flashback to her old life? Or an actual school, something going on. Can't stick around wait for you forever. Get in there. Actually, that would calm any nerves. Well, unless you're on the receiving end. Standing in the doorway for a while. How many people actually taking any interest in her? Oh. Got a bit of a familiar face. What, you're going to go pick a seat? However, some of you are new here. One seems a little more familiar than the other. Getting straight into business, no orienteering or anything, just... Have they even taken attendance to make sure everyone's actually present? I mean, they are making it sound so fanciful. This narcissist... is doing a decent job at building the history. And what it fundamentally boils down to people's whims about this magic and sorcery, what they wish to achieve. How much effort they're going to put in. And also, is there multiple twins in this class? Oh. I think that that collection of organs and limbs needs a bit of rearranging. Not sure everything's in the right place. One thing that I think should mainly get stated near the beginning is that you will fail. It's okay to fail. Fail. Well, fail and question often. That's the basis of all learning. Keep prodding, see what's achievable. Hopefully it's not at the start of every class. I'd actually find that quite interesting. Damn Latin, what did the Romans ever do for us? Huh. Already being shown off and made an exception of. Rickenbacker. That might be a little. Oh, there she goes. She's not going to take notes at all? Oh, I see. Yeah, one isn't. Having a good first day. Half two. I think I prefer the second year uniforms over the ones she's wearing. It's a lot more freeing. Enjoying the sun. Probably best not to be at the top of the stairs, though. This is where we learn defense against the dark arts. Definitely, yeah. This is the class they are all going to regret. Did we ever get a hint or a glimpse behind many of the things with Elias? I think more. No, it seemed interesting. Oh. Are they going to be helping with some sort of showcase on the first lesson? Is it because she made a contract with the Will-O-Wisp? I mean, they'd have a bit of actual knowledge to pass on. It's quite easy to digest. Some are a little more entranced than in the previous class. Probably a good warning. Those that aren't easy to be communicated with might That's why you were called here today. I know you've never really been put down on the spot like this, but go on, get to it. What could go wrong? Some whispering in the class already. Nowhere to hide the bodies. Now might be a little cheating to use the will-o-wisp. Yeah, that candle it's definitely enough to read by that light. Just a little. Thank you. That's exactly what was being asked for. Coming back from under the table. I would like a little salamander, kind of gecko friend. And just like that, understanding was made. I wonder if everyone watching this is like, is she... Are you meant to kiss the lizard? It seems to work for fire, so... Now you've seen both ends of the spectrum. One, they can control it precisely. Another, fireball. He's been called in to supervise as well. Coming on a bit strong. Giving up a little easy. No. Screw you, lizard! Light the fire! Maybe that would be why it didn't want to help. I mean, there's a fire. Also, having your teacher come out in that form. We're going to continue with the lesson. As long as they can continue the lesson with this as his features, they should be fine. And as a lesson, as a warning in your first day, get it across. So who believes they have what it takes and who's a little more... Oh. If you're already wavering about what's possible... He is... I like how the hair is still a little frayed. Got an admirer. I mean, almost getting your students eaten and char grilled and the like. Yeah, you can understand why they need a few more precautionary measures. Did he? Did she see him earlier? I mean, there's been a couple of people with extended names and pleasantries. Not too tense, but the spirit didn't exactly take to him. Already in a somewhat mentoring position. I do like how Chisei kind of got thrust into this world and knows more than standard students. But what speed would people usually be brought into it all? I'm guessing because of the school slowly kind of drip fed. But it'd be hard to be standardized when you have families that are a little more intertwined with the neighbors and everything else. I think that with Elias giving these initial little tests to the students, you give a brief introduction of what we're doing and what it takes to be a mage, and then have at it, light this candle. He did go over a bit of brief warnings. Don't push it, don't anger them. Maybe you should have hit home a little bit more on how important that step was. So, I wonder if the calming tea and whatnot is going to help. Now, obviously, when we had Elias kind of assume that form to be able to teach properly, not scare the students or anything, I kind of imagined it would stick around for a little bit longer than 45 minutes into the first lesson. Yeah, but despite being called on the spot, demonstrate in front of the class, please. Chisei pulling it out quite well, communicating with that salamander neighbor quite efficiently, lighting the flame, precise duration and color as desired. Some of these spirits and neighbors are definitely easier to communicate and get along with than others, as we've seen since the salamander kind of almost flambéed a student. I wonder how many lessons are going to be that kind of vivid and dangerous. We saw Elias have maybe a little bit of a talking to, pulled out for a brief discussion on what's allowed on the premises of the school. And although it's only been, maybe even a word, a sentence, we've seen some of the personalities of some of the students, how they get on with one another, especially if they're brothers and sisters and the like, but no one seems outwardly antagonistic to Chisei. So, at least that's a good sign. We don't have the usual kind of just, oh, I don't like you, therefore I'm going to make life difficult for you kind of trope. Maybe it will come down the line, never know, but at least it's not so outwardly evident. Also, you got kind of like how Chisei brought into this school, into this kind of life, and through just sheer encounters and chance, she's not really going to change at all. She's still going to be that caring, motherly figure. If anyone's slightly ill or in trouble, she'll jump into action. Or someone that looks slightly faint, lean on my shoulder. I'll carry you to the nurse's office. Here, have some calming tea. And potpourri. But as kind of light-hearted and fun, albeit slightly dangerous, as this episode was, considering what the school is, and kind of built for, with research and education into mages, magic, and sorceries, how long until that kind of underside, darker side gets exposed? I do hope it just carries on being a nice, smooth sailing, slice of life school days for Chisei, but we might not be that lucky. And while there were a few nicely framed shots in this episode, I think they could have done a bit more with the through Chisei's eyes looking around the room. It did just seem slightly out of place, especially since it seemed so evidently 3D. But still, it was nice they were trying something. Plus, being able to see the inside of the room like that, get a quick lay of it. I wonder if all of the teachers will be so kind to them. But considering that Chisei is exempt from testing on magic, then it kind of makes sense, but I wonder if anyone's going to be slightly perturbed by it. You don't have to do it. At this point, I wonder how worn out Chisei is. We saw her standing at the top of the stairs. If it was me, I'd want to go back to my dorm room and just collapse on the bed forever. I wonder if we'll see a certain person practically doing that. So I want to see more episodes. Maybe you do too. If you've enjoyed Ancient Magus Bride, let me know. Leave a like and a comment down below. Consider subscribing. But for now, give yourselves a bit of a rest. I will hopefully see you in the next one.